Hello and welcome to day 7 of my free motion quilting challenge that I'm hosting here on YouTube. Hi, my name is Miriam. If we've never met, thanks for clicking on this video. I am hosting a 16-part free motion quilting challenge here during the month of December, and we are already on day 7. So I asked a few videos ago if you guys had any specific designs that you wanted done, and I did have someone ask for some type of floral design. And I had been planning on doing at least one floral style design. This one kind of came to me. I was looking up different ideas and I was trying to figure out something that is beginner friendly, but not kind of basic looking. And this is what I came up with. Let's point the camera down so I can show you what we're going to be doing. So if you don't know, we practice our designs on paper first. It just really helps with learning the movements that you need to be making. It helps with muscle memory. It just helps you learn what direction everything goes in. I think it's vital to practice on paper first, okay? If you don't want to, if you feel confident to just jump right into quilting, then by all means do that. I'm going to show you 2 different styles of using this floral design, okay? One's going to be kind of like a meander, where you include the floral or the flowers in the meander design. And then the other one is going to be, we're going to make a giant flower, okay? So I'm going to show you how to do the meander one first. I like to do kind of a loop-de-loo meander. So it's basically we just lead in. I'm a lefty, so I'm starting on the left. If you're a righty, you would start on the right. We're just going to lead in with some loop-de-loop quilting, okay? You can go anywhere you want with this type of quilting. I love it. It's very beginner friendly, right? So let's lead into our first flower. So I'm going to come over here where I have plenty of space for a flower. And I am going to first draw, or if I'm stitching, I will first stitch a circle. So go in a circle. Now, if you want to, you can fill the center of the flower with little pebbles if you want. We did the pebble quilting design on day 2 of the free motion quilting challenge, so I taught you how to do that. If you want to see the other videos from this challenge, there will be a link to the playlist in the description box of all the videos for this challenge. So if you ever need to or want to watch other videos from it, those are easy to find, okay? But anyway, so you can fill the circle in with pebbles if you want, or you can just leave it plain. Then we are going to do our petals. So each flower is going to have 5 petals. And our petals are going to start, I'm actually going to rotate this just like I would rotate the quilt under the needle. So I'm looking at it straight on. And I am going to draw right up, and then I'm gonna do kind of like a little, almost like a tooth looking shape for the petal, if that makes sense, and then down, and that's one petal, okay? And we're just going to do that 5 times around. So I'm going to rotate a little bit. So when we come down and finish this petal, we're just going to come right back up right next to it and do that petal shape. It's almost kind of like a heart as well, if you want to think of it that way. We'll come back up and do another petal. So this is a little bit more visually interesting than, say, just like kind of like a daisy shape. We're going to rotate and do another one. And then one more. And if you can, have that last petal, the side of it, go down on the line that led into the flower. See right there? I have it all leading in, so it's all kind of connected. So that's our flower. You can stop there. If you want to add details, you can. You can come back over kind of in the center of the petals, and you could stitch up some little lines like that if you wanted. Go on to the next one. Do the same thing. Next one, do the same thing. So this is highly customizable for kind of the look you want to go for and kind of how complicated you want it to be for yourself. But so that is one flower. Then once you finish, then you would just come out between any of the petals, and you would just lead out with some more loop-de-loop quilting and just go on your merry way over the quilt, just like that. Let's do another one, okay? So first, we're gonna do our circle. Then we're gonna do our petals. Let's start right at the line that led into the circle. And we're gonna do one petal, another petal. And you want all your petals to be pretty much the same size, right? And kind of look similar. They don't have to be exactly the same. And then we'll come down and there is our flower, right? And then depending on which way you want to go, just go to that area of the flower and go out between the petals. And there we go. And you would just continue this design all over your quilt, adding as many flowers as you want. You know, they could be dispersed just randomly. You could have it very flower centric and have just flowers all over the place with just a few loops in between. It's totally up to you and kind of the look that you want to go with. There's that style. That's very cute, very great, really great for like an all over quilting design. Then I wanted to show you another way that you could do this. And I thought this would be really fun to do for my specific quilt. This is what I'm going to do just to add a little interest to the quilt. So not everything that I'm doing on the quilt is basically some type of meander. So I'm going to use that flower design and I'm just going to make a huge flower. So I will show you how I'm going to do that. So I will start in the center of my quilt square. And then you can do any kind of quilting in the center of the square if you want. You could do little crosshatch, you could do pebbles, basically whatever you want, or you could just leave it blank. That would be fine too. It's your quilt. You can do what you want. Then we're going to draw our petals. So I'm going to go ahead and do that here. I'm going to try to have them be about the same size. And you want to do 5 petals, okay? That's how this will work. All right. So it'll look like that. Then if you want to do any kind of extra design, you can in the petal. So if you want to do kind of like those little lines that flowers have, you could do that. I might do that actually. I think that'll look cute on my flower. And it'll kind of add a little extra texture and dimension to the flower. Then we're just going to come out to one of the petals and I am going to trace right on the line of the petal to the center where we kind of have that little dip. So I'm going to trace with my stitches all around the petal till I get to the center. All right. Now that I'm at the center, now I'm going to start doing my next layer of petals, okay? So we're going to come up, do a dip, and then come to the center of the next petal. And then do the same thing with the next one, dip, center of the next petal. So you want the dip to be kind of in between the petals of the flower. And then I'm just going to repeat that process all the way across. Okay. So there's 2 layers. Then let's do another layer. So again, I would just come back up on the side of one of the petals till I get to the dip. And then we would draw our next layer of petals. So we go up dip, and then over to the next petal, and just repeat this as many times as you want to make, you know, as large of a flower as you want. And you would just go so on and so forth till you have made the size flower that you want to make. Yeah, I think this is going to be very, very fun. And if you wanted to, after you were done, you could always go in and do some type of filler in the different petals. You know, we did, yesterday we did the scrolls design, so you could come in and do like the little curve and then the curve the opposite way and just fill it up with those. That would take some time, but I feel like that could look really, really cool. But anyway, so you could fill it up. You could do all kinds of designs, right? Whatever type of filler you like to do, or you could just leave it like this. And I think that would look great too. You could do echoing, so you could come back in and echo all around. So if you wanted to kind of echo like the last largest petals that you did, you could just come in like 1/4 of an inch and just echo all of the petals like this. So I want this challenge, this specific design, to be a way for you to really push yourself and try something that maybe you've never tried before. So if you've never tried a filler, try a filler. Even if it's just in the little circle of the flower, just try something. Try the echoing if you haven't done the echoing before. You could come in here and echo smaller on that second layer of flower petals. So there's so many things you can do, and let's have fun with this one, okay? This is definitely a playtime quilting design. It's not hard and fast rules with this one. You can just play, figure out what you like, definitely draw it out and see what looks good to your eye. Or if you're planning on doing the meander version, try it out. Maybe try different designs in the different flowers and see what you like. All right, we're at the sewing machine. So I am going to do the flower on this lovely pink, kind of a mauve color, I think. Maybe that's what I would call it. Mauve? I think so. So I'm going to use white thread. I think that'll show up really well on the pink still, since the white showed up so well on this dark red. I think the pink or the white thread will show up really well on the pink. So I am just going to, I'm not going to overthink it too much. So I'm going to find about the center of the square. We are emphasizing that this is playtime, right? Not making a quilt, you know, that's going to be passed down through the generations. This is really, it's a quilting sampler for me. And hopefully this is just a fun playtime quilting design for you. Well, it's that for me too. But so I'm going to start in the center and I'm just going to move the flower out. I don't know how many layers of petals I'm going to do. And I'm kind of thinking of starting smaller than I did on the paper so I can do more layers. So let's see how it goes. I have done this type of quilting, I think, one time before, and that was a very long time ago. Probably five plus years ago it's been. So let's see if we can do it well today. The moment of truth. I'm going to do a circle. Okay, so far so good. I'm happy with that circle. I think I'm going to fill it. Let's see, what do I want to fill it with? Let's do the pebbles. Since I just learned how to do the pebbles, I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it really small. So that's going to be a fun challenge. So let's do that. As you can see, I kind of use my hands as a little frame. This helps hold the fabric nice and flat, and it just keeps my eyes focused on just what's in between my hands. So I'm not thinking about what I'm going to do up here. I'm just focused on this area right here. So I'm going to do the little pebbles here. those pebbles aren't my best work, but that was fun. Okay, I am going to do my first petal. So I'm gonna try to focus on my angles being not super, I don't want my angles super out for the petal. I'm gonna try to do pretty close to straight up and down. Well, not really. Well, let's try it. Let's try it and see. So, and then I'm gonna focus on really making the top of the petal be nice and curved and smooth. So let's go ahead and try one. All right, I think that first petal turned out pretty cute. So now I'm just gonna rotate this just a little bit and do my next one. Okay. I'm gonna try to do one upside down so I don't have to rotate all the way around. So here we go. There we go. I think that upside down one actually looks better than the other ones. It looks really good. And then I'm just gonna rotate a little bit so I can make sure I'm getting this next petal kind of evenly in between the two that I've already done. So here we go. That is my first row of petals. I think that looks pretty good. Pretty good. All right, I'm gonna do a little design in the petals because I want it to be extra. So I'm gonna go to the center of each petal and do a straight up line and then two going out. Now I need to move on to the next layer of petals. So I'm going to follow up the line or the side of one petal and go to that center dip and stop. Okay. And then from there, I'm going to draw my next petal having the dip right in between where the two petals meet, and then ending that petal in the next flower's dip of the petal. I hope this is making sense. I'm saying petal a lot. But here we go. Oh, let's try to do it upside down. See what happens. Okay. And the last one. Wow, so far this is pretty cool. That looks pretty cool, doesn't it? You can definitely tell it's a flower, right? So I think what I'm gonna do is I am gonna continue adding layers of petals the exact same way. So I will come to the dip of the petal, come up, make the dip of the next one in between the two petals, and then end over here. And I'm just going to keep doing that till I've filled up the square. Then I'll probably go in and add some more detail after I've done the initial flower, because I'm not quite sure exactly what all I want to do as far as details. So let's put you back over here. Let's make some more petals. perfect. I think I can do one more layer of petals. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Okay. Oh, that is really, really cute. Is it perfect? No, it's not, but it wasn't supposed to be. But look how cute that is. That's really cute. I think this would look so cute on a baby blankie. You could, or a baby quilt. You could do a whole bunch of these just giant flowers on a baby quilt, and the baby would love. The texture is very cool, and it looks so cute. It's adorable. I really, really like this. I think I'm gonna do a little bit of echoing. I'm gonna come down to this second from the outside layer of petals, and I'm gonna do some echoing in those. That might be it, because I kind of just like the simplicity of the way that this looks. And it's definitely quilted enough. Like, I don't have to quilt it more. But I think maybe some echoes. Maybe in that one and maybe the second to next one also. We'll see how I feel. But I'm at least going to do some echoing. So I need to lead down into... I got to get down into where I started those petals. And now I'm just going to echo the petal about maybe 1/4 of an inch away from the actual stitching. Gonna cut my threads, and I want to take a step back and look at this and see what I think. Kind of hold it away from me so I'm not so up close to it. Man, I think that's really cool. Very groovy. Definitely different from anything I've ever done before, but I really like this. This is cool. There is our flower. Now, is it perfect? No, it's not perfect. But this sort of thing is not supposed to look perfect, at least not for me. I would rather it look, you know, hand done, because that's what it is. But this looks so cute. I really like this. And it was very fun to try to keep expanding the petals. And it looks very cool. The texture is really cool. I really like it. So what do you think? What do you think of this one? It's a little different than our other tutorials, right? I wanted to mix it up a little bit with something a little bit more experimental, right? So would you necessarily do this all over a quilt? You could. You could, and I may be tempted to, because I think a quilt just covered in these big giant flowers, I think could actually look really cool. Especially if you're using some like kind of vintage colored fabrics, like very 70s. 60s, 70s fabric, I think this could look really, really cool on there. I personally very, very, very much like it. Very cool. And this is just one idea for a floral quilt. So if you find a different petal that you like to make better, say you like to make the petal that's just kind of like a normal looking petal, right? You could do that instead of kind of this rough heart-shaped, tooth-shaped petal, right? And you could use this same idea and kind of create a large flower with a bunch of layers of petals. And I think this was very fun. Very fun exercise, basically, is how I see it. Really good practice with doing curves and kind of controlling the fabric and making sure that you're not getting skip stitches or anything like that. So I think this was a really great one to do. I hope you enjoy making this one. If you do the meander instead, that will also be so fun and a bit more simple than this, right? So you just do the circle and then the 5 petals, super easy, and then lead off into your meander of choice. I personally really just like the loop-de-loop meander, so that's what I do a lot of times when I need to do some type of meander. But yeah, thank you for watching this. Stay tuned for tomorrow's free motion quilting design. It's going to be a good one. And if you have any questions, feel free to let me know, okay? And I will do my best to answer them, all right? Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you very soon, all right?